Week 7 waiver wire? Yeah, that's right. Week 7 waiver wire. We're here to talk about it on the Audible.
You got a team, here's a word to the wise. You want to dominate your league? Go to Football Guys.
Football, I'm living in a fantasy. Football, got everybody mad at me. Football, cause every game I had to win. Football, I gotta be a champion. Football, I'm living in a fantasy.
It's week 7. We're rolling along in the fantasy season, and you might need some help. We all need help, Bloom. But let's talk about fantasy help and upgrades, downgrades, waiver wire report. It's available at footballguys.com. It's written by that guy right there, Sigmund Bloom. And on the quarterback list, names that should be out there, maybe not changing circumstances, but yeah, at the top is Jackson Dart.
Yeah, it's a merry-go-round at quarterback. And let me say again, this week it was Puka Nacua. So no matter where your team is, even if you're 1-5 right now, like the Baltimore Ravens, they're not out of it. You're not out of it because it could be other teams that step on landmines. And you can also try to play matchups or the Cecil Lammey theory, which plays out every year of windows. So we're doing a merry-go-round. Sometimes it's your number 2 quarterback, but they can become your number 1 quarterback really quickly. And Jackson Dart might become your number 1 quarterback as he had yet another good day as a runner. And again, we saw from the first game, toughness, speed, and most importantly, the willingness of the coaches to use him as a runner by design, including in the red zone, decisiveness. That's the thing about Jackson Dart. He may not always make the wrong decision or right decision, but he's decisive. He's tuned in to the game. He's not overwhelmed. And he put up a good game against an Eagles defense that we thought was good with Wan'Dale Robinson as his number 1 receiver and little Jordan Humphrey as his number 2 receiver, as the Giants are in the market for a wide receiver. So, this was supposed to be the tough part of his schedule. We'll see what he does against Denver, but the running ability gives him a high fantasy floor. And now even without his number 1 and number 2 receivers, we're seeing a high fantasy ceiling. And remember, Cam Scatterby got 3 touchdowns in that game. If one of those goes to Jackson Dart, he's an elite fantasy play against the Eagles on a Thursday night in week 6.
I absolutely love it. And I love the Jackson Dart Cam Scatterby memes. Like, what's stopping this duo? And all the answer would be like a push-pull sign, something like that. It's loving. It's loving, but it's fun because the Giants football is fun. Maybe not against Nick Bonito, but we'll see about that. Back to the quarterback position and who else could be out there. Again, Bloom. These are the names everybody knows: Sam Darnold, Trevor Lawrence, Bryce Young. Keep an alert if anybody hits your waiver wire and you need some help.
Yeah, Sam Darnold putting together good weeks now, high floor play, and doing more of the heavy lifting for the offense than the running game, which is not what we expected in a Clint Kubiak offense. Playing against Houston this week is a tougher matchup, but again, sometimes it's just having this, upgrading your backup quarterback, maybe even denying a team that has Josh Allen on bye, a good option. That could be Trevor Lawrence in London against the Rams. And Lawrence, it's choppy, but he does have now Brian Thomas contributing more. He's contributing more as a runner. And at the end of the day, last 2 weeks, it's been good to great for fantasy football. And then Bryce Young. And we're seeing shades of the Bryce Young after the bye last year that was confident, that was leading this team to wins, that was unlocking fantasy value. He's making plays with pocket presence. He's making plays on extended plays. He's showing a lot of competitive toughness. And, he's got Tedero McMillan. Oh, yeah, that guy Rico Dowdle. So this whole offense is reinvigorated now. He was a low fantasy quarterback 1 during that stretch. He could definitely do it again, and certainly against the Jets this week. He's probably the best play out of those 3 this week, and maybe has the highest ceiling as he's coming on, and maybe the most likely to be available in your league.
Yeah, available in your league, perhaps. We'll monitor the Jacoby Brissett thing. And then we'll monitor the Shedeur Sanders thing. Of course, It doesn't help when Shiloh goes up to the stadium dressed as Shedeur. I'm like, and listen, it's fun. It's videos. It's all on the internet. The NFL hates that type of stuff. Sorry, NFL's old fuddy-duddies, but they hate all the conversation about 3rd string now, I guess. 2nd string for now, quarterback in Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, and that's like 2 quarterback superflex leagues. You got Shedeur Sanders. How much longer are we going to stick with Dylan Gabriel? Jacoby Brissett has a matchup that doesn't look as bad against the Packers. And then in between, if you need to churn your roster in the 1 quarterback leagues, CJ Stroud coming off the waiver wire. We're always looking at players coming off of a bye. This week against Seattle, Seattle makes some big plays, gives up some big plays in the passing game. And even a level below that, Aaron Rodgers, I'm kind of a little bit excited about the Steelers offense. I kind of think the Steelers offense, there could be something there. Always playing Cincinnati this week. There's definitely something there.
Oh, yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers is the 1 week fill-in. Again, maybe it's time of the season we do some rock blocking. If you know your opponent this week has Josh Allen or has been putting together a committee replacing Lamar Jackson, who's also on bye, maybe you rock block them with Aaron Rodgers, or you rock block them with Joe Flacco on the other side of that matchup, because you see how aggressive he's going to be against the Packers, actually putting up a decent fantasy game. We'll see about whether it's Carson Wentz or JJ McCarthy. Again, that Philly matchup isn't looking as bad now in terms of limiting fantasy output for an offense. JJ McCarthy, you hear Kevin O'Connell saying rebuilding him from the foundation up or something like that. That doesn't sound like he's ready to start right away. That doesn't sound like you're not making minor adjustments when you're talking in that fashion. And Carson Wentz keeps on winning. Carson Wentz could have some lasting value for us. So again, these names at quarterback, turning that bottom of your bench, your backup quarterback, or even using it to deprive your opponent of an option. This stuff can matter because we haven't had as bad of a year, Cease, with injuries at quarterback. We have seen a lot of injuries at running back and wide receiver. I hope we don't see injuries at quarterback, but I know that we're probably going to.
I know that we're probably going to. My buddy Luke saying hi in the chat room. Good morning, live audience on the Audible. Make sure to like this video, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a vid. Luke could play the game Cannabis Strain or Racehorse Name. Back to the football talk, and it's Kamani Vidal at the top of the running backs, 50 to 100%, obviously, clearly worthy of his own section here.
Yeah, and it's just great that he had shown he got almost 70% of the snaps. Even during the game, I think Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman saw he's their best running back, getting a touchdown in the receiving game, lots of chunk gains for him. And hey, Murray Hampton, again, the report that it's a more than 4-week injury for Hampton. I think you're looking at Kamani Vidal maybe even having value when Hampton is back because of how it is like a thunder and lightning duo. And again, we'll just say, hey, fantasy football community, look, see, I'm patting myself on the back. That's on behalf of the whole fantasy football community, because we were very high on Kamani Vidal. 31 other teams had a chance to claim him on waivers whenever the Chargers put him through to the practice squad. See, I heard that teams are in the market for a running back. Too bad they didn't claim him. Hopefully you claimed him, and hopefully you have him in your lineup this week against the Colts.
Yeah, have him in your lineup and enjoy. Isaiah Pacheco is 20 to 40% there as well. At the running back position, we're looking at Bam Knight, Tyjae Spears, Kendre Miller, I guess Isaiah Davis.
Yeah.
The pickings are a little slim.
Let's go through this stuff. First of all, and Cease, it's October, so it's trade deadline time. It's time to at least think about it. At least think about how it can affect things. And in the case of Isaiah Pacheco, it's probably not good in that the Chiefs are in the market for a running back. So real quick, Cecil, because this is going to tie in, because I want to get our NFL insider, Cecil Lammey, is here. Cecil, just give me a number. Percentage chance you think Breece Hall gets traded?
100%.
Yeah. Okay, so that Chiefs, right? I mean, now, in the meantime, if it doesn't happen, if it's not the Chiefs, then Pacheco all of a sudden jumped back up to about 60, 70% of the snaps last week. He had 4 red zone opportunities. We saw Kareem Hunt get 2 touchdowns 2 weeks ago. So if Pacheco gets that chance with this offense on the rise, Roshy Rice is back this week, by the way, then that could be tremendous fantasy value. Or we could hear in the next week or two that they trade for Breece Hall or Alvin Kamara or someone else. So there's both sides of this, but it's waiver wire bucks. If you can get anything useful for your waiver wire bucks over the course of a season, you did good. If you get the lead back for the Chiefs, one of the best offenses in the league, you did great. Tyjae Spears got more snaps than Tony Pollard. Now, who knows what's going to happen with the tight Mike McCoy? See, you covered Mike McCoy, right?
Oh yeah, Uncle Mike.
I mean, he's just kind of like overseeing. Like he's just overseeing this, right? Like just glide it in. Just we don't want to crash landing, right?
Mike McCoy doesn't want to rock the boat. He always got credit for the Tebow offense when they made the switch from Kyle Orton. It wasn't. It was John Fox. He fought that hard. So Uncle Mike is, You know, he's a fence rider. Loves riding that fence.
Yeah, slow in the driveway, so we'll see. But Tajay Spears is the 2-minute drill back. He's the when the team is trailing back. I think that's the guy we're going to see more, and certainly in some PPR value there. Bam Knight, not quite the starter. Little erroneous report that he was going to start. Michael Carter still started, but Bam Knight ended up getting about as many touches, or more touches actually, more looks in the red zone, short yardage, and he at least has desperation play value. We'll see if he can generate more than that. Marty Mercado gets hurt, does get some trust last week, even after the flip at the goal line 2 weeks ago, leaves the game with an injury, and then Michael Carter moves into that third down back role, and Bam Knight the lead back. So again, depth. Kendre Miller's on here because of the possibility that Alvin Kamara gets traded. Kamara doesn't want to get traded. He wants to retire, saying they love him here so much.
His money probably means he's not getting traded.
Yeah, and he also just got an extension. So I don't think that they're necessarily interested in that. But if he gets traded, and his name has been mentioned enough that we at least have to allow for this, Kendre Miller becomes the lead back there. And then Isaiah Davis is again, so on one hand, we feel reasonably confident that Breece Hall is going to get traded. On the other, which makes Isaiah Davis the lead back. On the other hand, what's he done? What's this offense doing? Is it even going to be worth anything? We may look back and say, wow, Breece Hall was really generating value all on his own because this is a terrible offense and a terrible team. But again, at the end of your bench, you never know. I mean, hey, if Breece Hall gets traded and you have Isaiah Davis on your bench, you might be able to trade him for something in fantasy. So trade deadline means we're thinking about these teams wanting running backs, wide receivers, and it's nice overlay of the two universes, the fantasy football universe and NFL universe, can affect each other.
Yeah, they interact as much as coaches and players may not want it to. And Breece probably going to wind up in the AFC West. More on that in a little bit. Wide receivers, Wan'Dale Robinson, 20 to 40%. Kayshon Boutte back, 15 to 30%. Luther Burden there as well, though no update on DJ Moore, right? Chat room was talking about that. Let's talk about these cluster at the top of the wide receivers.
And Wan'Dale Robinson playing well, and Jackson Dart playing well. So there's value there. I don't know when Darius Slayton's going to be back, but I think that we've seen now Wan'Dale Robinson can make some noise as a short range target after the catch. He can make some noise as a deep target, and this offense is on the rise. Luther Burden, let's talk about DJ Moore. Everything looked fine after the game, but he spent the night in the hospital. I haven't heard anything concrete yet. Saw someone say he came down hard on his back, maybe his kidneys, in the hospital for observation. I don't know if we're going to see him against the Saints in week 7. And the other thing about Luther Burden is now the Bears have played 5 games. In 2 of those games, Luther Burden has led their wide receivers in fantasy value, and yet he has not had over 30% snaps in any game. So Ben Johnson, the motivation, okay, well, your team gets the win and needs some punch maybe on offense. And I think that Luther Burden's the kind of player that if he does get a start in place of DJ Moore, you might not be able to put that genie back in the bottle. Kayshon Boutte, it's more like, I don't know, phases of the moon cease, because now we've seen him have 2 massive games. I mean, he's good. You can't have these. He did it at the end of last year with Drake May, and Drake May is good. And I really wrestled with this one because I wanted to put him higher because he's attached to Drake May, and he's shown that ability to have these big games, 100-yard games, 2 touchdown games, downfield receiver. So he's at the very least a what the heck flex every week, but this could be sustained. Remember, he's a young player. I think he's only 23. So he's the age of a lot of players that came in the draft this year. He's starting to really come into his own. And I think against Tennessee, you're going to want to play every New England Patriot anyway. So Kayshon Boutte is a player that I wondered if I shouldn't have rated higher, because I think everyone's going to look at him and say, well, he's going to go dormant for 3 or 4 weeks. But Drake May's getting better every week. This offense is getting better every week. So Boutte's value this time around could be more sustained.
Yeah, more sustained, and keep it up there. More sustained for Christian Watson. Is that an oxymoron? Tez Johnson there, Alec Pierce here, Trey Tucker here. Oh boy, a list of wide receivers, including a bunch of 0 to 1%ers.
Yeah.
Just maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some players here. I mean, Christian Watson now with Dontavian Wicks out. Christian Watson's coming back from an ACL tear. But we also don't know what it's going to look like when we have Matthew Golden and Christian Watson on opposite sides of the formation and how that's going to affect defenses. We already know that Christian Watson can have fantasy value on 3, 4, 5 targets a game. Trey Tucker, trade talk, Jacoby Myers. Remember, Jacoby Myers requested a trade before the season. Raiders are going nowhere. Why not? Why not trade Jacoby Myers? So Trey Tucker, obviously, he and Geno Smith have some chemistry there, and Trey Tucker could become even more central in this offense if Jacoby Myers gets traded. Tez Johnson, great clip, by the way, as after Baker Mayfield, see, you're going to love this. After Baker Mayfield hooked up with Tez Johnson for that 45-yard touchdown pass, and the crowd at stadium was saying, MVP. MVP. Tez Johnson turns to Sterling Shepard and says, I haven't really done. Why are they saying I'm the MVP? That's not for you, Tez. That's for Baker. Oh, well, he might not be the MVP of your fantasy team, but with Chris Godwin banged up, we'll see if Mike Evans gets back. He hasn't practiced yet. I think it's kind of iffy I know it's a Monday night game. I know it's Detroit, but Tez Johnson leading the wide receivers in snaps after Emeka Egbuka went out. So Sterling Shepard's role, he's a 1%er. He stays the same as more of a zone beater, where Tez Johnson, and we'll talk about Cameron Johnson too, the other mighty might. He's also a what the heck flex if Mike Evans is out. This could be a high scoring game, but Tez Johnson is the exciting one, and Bo Nix's brother. So that's a great story to bring back. Alec Pierce, great to see him back going against the Chargers. Maybe a little quarterback duel there between Daniel Jones and Justin Herbert. And you have with Alec Pierce is averaging 20 yards a catch. He can make your week on any one play in this great offense. And Cecil, doesn't even sound weird anymore that Daniel Jones is leading one of the best offenses in the league. That's where we are going into week 7.
Yeah, week 7. Yeesh. I'm just looking at all the wide receivers.
Yeah.
All right. There's a ton of them. That's for sure, for help there. Now to the not yet ever popular what the heck flex, wrong show, to the ever popular tight end. I'm taking a look at the tight ends just in case.
Yeah. Again, churn.
All right. Yeah, churn. And again, the Yahoo ownership, wow. Harold Fannon's available in leagues. Aronde Gadsden's available in leagues. Kate Otton's available in leagues.
Maybe. Well,
okay.
and look, and let me wind up some wide receiver talk too. And thanks again, folks. We love our live crowd. Thank you for everybody. And you got the waiver wire up down report at Football Guys. And this also ties into some of the different functions. So while you and your league, we're wide netting it, you and your league might say these guys haven't been there for weeks. And some of the other customers, listeners, followers we have, these players are out there in their league, short bench leagues or public leagues. And it also gives us a chance to talk about these players. Let me wind up some other wide receivers, some housekeeping really quick. Zay Jones could be the number 1 receiver for Jacoby Brissett if Marvin Harrison doesn't clear concussion protocol this week. Jordan Whittington could take Puka Nakua's place in London. Isaac Tesla and Trey Harris. Also, Josh Reynolds could be the number 1 receiver while Garrett Wilson is out. What's that going to be worth? I don't know. It is Carolina. Now, if you're not looking for someone to help this week, Isaac Tesla is the clear number 3 receiver for the Lions. If Jamison Williams or Amon-Ra St. Brown miss time, there could definitely be some value there. And we'll see if Quentin Johnston's back. Trey Harris may get a start. And Trey Harris could have some growing value here, although we switch to the tight ends. And Harold Fannin at the top of the list because David Njoku has a knee injury, because Dylan Gabriel continues to look for Harold Fannin, including on downfield passes. And Cease, I'll just ask you this. I'll use this as an entree to this question. If Shedeur Sanders were to become the Browns quarterback, who, if anybody, among their targets do you think would benefit the most?
Who would benefit the most is Jerry Jeudy.
Ooh, 13 targets last week. Maybe.
Yeah, this isn't the Dylan Gabriel scared of his own shot. Dylan Gabriel's not good. I don't know why.
Someone tell Kevin Stefanski that.
Yeah, I mean, it was so bad. It was one of those things at the Senior Bowl where I was like, I'm not going to take notes on him anymore because I don't like crushing a kid. He's not good at football. So, and Shedeur is an advanced passer. He may have other issues. He can't run, but he definitely is going to go downfield. So it's Jeudy.
Yeah. So it's interesting. So that could affect Fannin, but as you alluded to, Cease, there are other names out there, Arade Gadsden, and as some predicted, I think maybe Nathan Jenke, who does a tremendous weekly column, PFF, that Gadsden's kind of a backup wide receiver. Quentin Johnston goes out, and who gets the most targets in his stead? Now, Trey Harris got the snaps at his spot, but Grande Gadsden got the targets, including red zone targets. He had a fumble early in the game, a costly fumble. Right after that was whenever a touchdown was scored by Devon Achane, and they still kept going to him. So there's a lot of trust there for that rookie. And Cade Otton, well, we know when the top three receivers are out, that's your cue. That's like the Otton signal to put him in your lineup. And at the very least this week against Detroit, he's a good play. Maybe he could have some lasting value, but that's not all. And again, just like at wide receiver, there are some of these 3 to 5%, 1% tight ends that you may pick up, some if you need someone this week, but some if you just want to have some speculative value on your bench.
Yeah, Jake Tongs is there, Chigio Okonkwo is there, Taysom Hill, Noah Fant, Michael Mayer. All right, yeah, there's some choices. Bloom.
Yeah, there are. Michael Mayer, I don't think we're going to see Brock Bowers this week. So going into Kansas City, Mayer can help you this week. They have a bye in week 8. Isaiah Likely's on bye right now, but his snap count went over 80% of the team snaps. Lamar Jackson's going to be back. And now this one's a little bit tricky, but Mark Andrews' name is back out there. Again, these names are coming back to the trade talks. Ravens still believe they're very much in a Super Bowl window still this year at 1-5. Now, maybe if they come out of the bye and lose to Chicago, maybe the talk changes a little bit. Or maybe we just hear more during the bye about trade possibilities for Mark Andrews, and Isaiah Likely's speculative value goes up there. But Likely's getting healthy now, and we know he can threaten at all 3 levels of the field and become a foundational player if Mark Andrews gets traded. Chigga Okonkwo with Calvin Ridley hurt again. It's a mess in Tennessee, but you might be able to throw him in this week against New England. Noah Fant. Everybody else is hurt at tight end, and Joe Flacco loves to throw, playing the Steelers. Taysom Hill. Now, a couple of levels to Taysom Hill as a speculative stash. One is if Alvin Kamara gets traded. You had Taysom Hill get a rushing touchdown, hasn't done much else. The other thing, and Cecil, I don't know if this was really noted in fantasy circles, Kellen Moore said Taysom Hill's getting reps at quarterback in practice. And Kellen Moore did not close the door on the idea that if Spencer Rattler got hurt, that Taysom Hill would be the quarterback. So imagine, or even as part of a committee or shuffling quarterbacks in and out, So why not? I mean, you're looking at one extra bench spot. You never know what that could turn into. If it turns into Taysom Hill at tight end but playing quarterback, you're going to love that.
Yeah, you are absolutely going to love that. Some housekeeping before we get to what part.
Yeah.
Because Grandma asked about it.
AJ's grandma.
People talking about Dr. Jean, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And then Mr. Palmer with the great hat that I need. I need that hat. Any way we could get on the couch to pod before Thursday. Spotify really slow. Spotify's not slow. It's a scheduling thing. We're working on it behind the scenes. Because, well, full disclosure, once 6 p.m. hits, and I don't work after 6 p.m. So sorry. That's on me because I think it comes to YouTube about 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Yeah, which sucks for me because then I'm not going to get the pod out after 6 p.m. Just have to have a work-life balance that I've never really had before and probably should have had when my kids were young. But anyway, and then Grandma.
This is turning into an On the Couch episode.
It is On the Couch. She asked what happened on the Couch music intro. Grandmama, I have to schedule when to take a crap. So yeah, everything's on a real tight schedule. If you've noticed all the little fun endings that I used to put in, yes, they may come back someday when I'm retired.
See, so let me interject and say, number one, always feedback, folks, please.
Yes.
I mean, especially anything we can do to improve. But in those comments, I feel the love. I feel the love that you helped create all the way back when nobody was even talking. I saw former President Barack Obama talking about Mark Maron's show is ending its 16-year run. And he said that we did this show when they didn't even know what a podcast was. That was 16 years. We're 20. Come on, Brock. So you were doing things that nobody it hadn't even. There wasn't even an idea of a podcast. So things like putting Bugs Bunny endings and the drops and all the stuff. That stuff created a culture and a feeling that still to this day persists. So when people say, "Where is that stuff?" We want to do the best we can to serve you, but we feel the love in those comments.
Yeah, we definitely feel the love in the chat room as well with everyone. Everyone definitely chiming in here. We appreciate that. And it is time to get to that point where you need to scream, we need to scream, I need to scream, and I need to stop eating sweets at night. Anyway, let's get going because you need the help, and there's only one way sometimes to do that. So if you know this part, say it with me. If you're new to the show, hi, it's week 7. But just listen to this part. And then next week, participate with us because we know it is time to do the thing we call Cue the Chuck D! Sigmund, week 7, shut them downs.
Yeah, it's getting fascinating now, Cease. We're going to talk sabotage drops in addition to shut them downs. First of all, Cease, so like, would you rather have Bo Nix or Jackson Dart right now?
Oh, I'm going to be on both sides. I know that's probably opposite of what you
No.
said, but
No.
what you think, but it's going to come crashing down for Jackson Dart. Everybody.
Okay, I hear you. But I mean, I'm
do you believe in Brian Dable? Because remember, it's a pair. Would you rather have
Yeah.
Sean Payton and Bo Nix or Brian Dable?
That's fair.
And Jackson Dart. I don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe, the shiny little object. Like, okay, do it against Nick Benito. I'm gonna have a different answer, but okay, just
no, I hear you. I mean, some more shut 'em downs like Hassan Haskins, Michael Carter, Kareem Hunt, Tyrone Tracy, DJ Giddens, who's not really even the backup now. Brashard Smith, we're not keeping that dream alive. It may come back. These are all guys that were. I mean, see, you said 6 weeks for RJ Harvey, so I mean. RJ Harvey is not a player that I'm saying you got to grip tight. Don't let him go. He could be a league winner. It's not in the cards this year for him.
Unless Dobbin gets hurt, and he's always hurt. So,
but that's true. But I mean, there's a ton of running backs you could say that about. But as far as RJ Harvey creating value without an injury, Troy Franklin, again, if you have to drop some of these guys to get Keyshawn Butte, even somebody again like if I have to drop Keon Coleman, Juwan Jennings, who has so many injuries, Calvin Ridley, who's hurt. I mean, these are for your priority pickups. All right. Dontavian Wicks, Tyquan Thornton, we may come back around to him, but now that group is getting bigger of wide receivers there. David Njoku banged up. Mark Andrews is on bye. Even Mason Taylor, because, man, the Jets offense is just so inconsistent. So here, but let's talk sabotage drops real quick, Cease. Okay. Justin Fields sabotage drop.
I mean, he had negative 10 yards passing. I don't know.
He's sabotaging already.
I was gonna say that's sure sabotage drop. It had to be someone that has some attraction. You know what I mean? Like that Justin Fields. I know fantasy's different from regular football, but like, if Justin Fields is out there, I'm gonna let him sit out there. But
yeah, and again a nod to
charge.
Yeah, man. So you drop somebody knowing that someone else is going to pick them up, maybe even start them, certainly clog the roster. Okay. Kyler Murray sabotage drop. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because his foot injury in any given week.
Battlefield 6 is out. He's not doing anything except playing Battlefield 6.
Here's the last one. Chase Brown sabotage drop.
Again, he'd have to be attractive. Bengals don't run like
right.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
Carl says Travis Hunter sabotage drop. No. Well, I don't know. I want it to happen with Travis Hunter. We'll see if it happens. But we're at that point in the season where you might drop players that have value, because that value will make them a thorn in the side for one of your rivals instead of you.
Carl brings up a great one, Travis Hunter.
Yeah, Travis Hunter. Yeah, and I mean, I think that the name value is there with Travis Hunter, but the actual production isn't there. So that's another one where maybe he'll clog up a roster spot. So, man.
Let's say clog up.
I'm clogged. We're getting old. That means different things when you get old.
Where's my Metamucil?
Exactly.
Where's my next part where you shut him down already? Awesome. Now it is time to hold on in week 7. Who are those players?
Yeah, there are some players to hold on to. Ramondre Stevenson, first and foremost. You did see Mike Vrabel say, hey, these guys are... It's so funny, Mike Vrabel. Running backs are worried too much about ball security. I wonder why. Do you remember the game against the Steelers? But Ramondre Stevenson, things are going to loosen up. Touchdown opportunities are going to be there. Don't let him go. Don't let Travion Henderson go. You want to stay attached to this offense, and including Stephon Diggs. I think those are the main guys to hold on to right now. But otherwise, I think that, again, the note seems to be aggressive. Be aggressive with drops. Be aggressive with pickups. And really limit, and again, the Cecil Lammey theory of windows. We're really looking at like the last 2 or 3 weeks, next 2 3 weeks going forward. And that means that you might be able to take advantage of what people are thinking because they're still holding on to the past.
Yeah, well, they're holding on. The Ken Walker stuff. Our chat room lit up with some
No
Ken
way.
Walker talk.
Nah, and you can't drop Ken Walker just because Seattle's. I mean, and again, it's the pendulum, right? As Sam Darnold's playing better, as guys like AJ Barner and Cooper Kupp are making plays, eventually that's going to open things back up for this running game. So no way I'm dropping Ken Walker right now.
Ricketic says sabotage drop Troy Emmanuel Franklin Sanders. Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if there's a number 2 target in this offense, it's Evan Ingram.
It's been Evan Ingram, yeah.
So there's not enough there for 3.
It's interesting to note that when they were in London, that number 2 target talk started. Like they want a new number 2 target. Well, who is that? It's not one of the receivers right now. Right now, things have changed quickly around here. That's what our fearless leader Joe Bryant always says. But it's been 20 years we've had the Audible, so
yeah,
we're slow to change. But we appreciate everyone out there. He is Sigmund Bloom. You follow him on all the socials at Sigmund Bloom. I am at Cecil Lammey, saying like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a vid. We thank you very much. It's football, guys. It's the Audible. Stay tuned, and would you please stay frosty.